Hello, Greatakin. Welcome to another installment of Make America Great or Die Trying. I'm FrozenRelic, and this is the first half of year 3. So we're going to do 2 quarters this particular video, and it shouldn't actually take too long because rather than doing a bunch of small things, there's a big thing that I'm interested in getting tackled this particular playthrough. So last time we went and we set up a welfare fraud protection policy. We also set up a trade council, gave a subsidy for new cars, new fresh cars for our public. And what was the other thing? National Business Council was set up because we definitely want to make sure that the needs of business are being listened to, because usually that's not the case, as you well know. They're barely being heard. So let's kind of look over our quarterly report as we get into this. Our new situation that we have is extreme nationalism, and that particular group is the Patriots. And this, trying to think why this came about, actually. Well, we've been running very high patriotism, so it started right off the get-go, if I remember right. I think it was video 1 where we started doing border controls, and our immigration has been down quite a lot. We have a policy question, people smuggling, so we're going to see what that's about. Our popularity is at 52%. That to me was a little disappointing because it was at 51%, and in the last quarter it just went up 1%. So, I mean, better than nothing, but I was definitely hoping for a little bit higher. I'd like to see that get to perhaps about 60% at the end of year 3. Let's see. So we're in the middle of the term, of course, because we're just starting year 3, and the Greatakins is over 9 million strong. So let's just kind of go. I don't believe there was. Oh yeah, the cabinet's still loyal and adequate. There's not much going on there. Our crime is dropping very nicely, and health is going up. So maybe some things like the asthma epidemic will start kind of going away at some point. But let's jump in and let's see what this people smuggling is all about. This sounds very interesting. Click. Okay, so a large number of people have been caught entering our country hidden inside cargo containers in an organized attempt at people smuggling. Well, this doesn't sound real at all. So the criminals who mastermind this scheme have been arrested, but there's debate as to whether those people who are now on our shores should be sent back to the country of origin. Okay, so this is actually quite a nice, juicy policy question here, kind of relevant to 2018's America, if you will. So we have 2 options. We can allow them to stay. So there is strong evidence that these people were desperate to flee persecution, poverty, or even death in their own country. These are desperate people, as we will see from the lengths they went to in order to get here to our great country. It would be inhumane to deport them now. So now they're here. So our other option is to deport them. Bye-bye, so long, see you later. So, letting these people stay would send out entirely the wrong signal to people who want to come here illegally. We have enough of a problem with illegal economic migrants as it is. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the only sensible choice is to kick them back to where they came. Am I right? Okay, so we've got these 2 options. I know what a sane person might pick, but our persona, this is in his or her wheelhouse. And there is only one correct option here, which is to kick them back and deport them. So we're going to select that one. Click. Make America great again. All right. So let's see. If we hit extreme nationalism, again, like I was mentioning, we can see that this is the Patriots, and I don't think I have any problem with that. No problem. Yes, there's going to be some racial tensions and whatnot. I'm sure there'll be tiki tortures or whatever. So we're going to kind of see where this all goes. This has fun written all over it. So I'm going to continue and wait for it. There we go. All right. So had some political capital that carried over from last time, which brings me up to 30 for this particular turn. As you can see, we're halfway through. We need to start thinking a little bit about re-election, and maybe I think the threat stuff is kind of under control. I don't really think we're going to have any threat issues from the Patriots. They are very supportive. In fact, I'll click around here in a minute and make sure of that they're very supportive of us. We're their kind of people, I guess. So let's click on this and look at our cabinet. Okay, all right, so this is good. Well, not good, but I mean, it's good that it didn't go down. So 22 capital per turn. This is okay. It's if it hits 21, we're gonna have to make a move here. At 22, not too bad. So let's look around here. So basically, again, with Andrew Gonzalez and Earl James, down to 2.1 each and hugging that 2-point line. So let's go into our threats and look. Oh, so the Church of Christ has now minimal membership. Maybe there's like 3 people. So they've just kind of left. Maybe there's some sort of something that went on there. The Patriot Party is rising. Threat assessment, whatever. The Patriot Army, though, that's the one that you were talking about with a decent threat assessment. 158 people. By the way, the Black Power group, which was, I believe it was somewhere around 311 or 360, somewhere in there, it is now declined down to 158. So this is definitely dropping. And, there's minimal revolution army and whatnot. So this isn't too bad. So let's go into our opinion polls, and pretty much as before, a lot of this looks to be sticking around the same. Just kind of looking to see if there's anything. So the motorists, as I kind of thought, the motorists are going up a little bit. Actually, fairly big from a couple quarters ago. Not really seeing too much drop. Trade unionists are starting to go downward, so maybe that's going to be a thing, but everything else is kind of okay, I suppose. Okay, so our focus group. Okay, so it's not just a bunch of guys with guns this time, although there are quite a lot of them. We're getting a bit of a mix. So this is Laura Morris, extremely supportive, which is interesting because she's part of the People's Popular Front. So I don't know what's going on there. Kind of thought that approval was going to dive, but let's click on Dude with Gun. So Dude with Gun, Kathy Powell, is loyal, People's Popular Front. 84% approval, so I guess a lot of them, which, by the way, have 100% voting probability, a lot of them seem to be turning around. Click on somebody else. Random. This person. Another person with a gun. Juan Adams. Again, People's Popular Front. In fact, let's click new group a couple times. Was this? Yep, none. I'm just going to click around until I see. Okay, so this guy, nobody. This person here. Yeah, I think we're doing all right overall. Okay, let's go into policies. Pretty much same. A bunch of popular stuff. Awesome. All right, let's look at our changes here. Wow. Nice. Look at this crime. Crime is down 60%. That's freaking awesome. Racial tensions going down, although with the Patriot uprising, I don't know what's going to happen there. Equality is actually up 22%. Health is up 5%. Violent crimes down a few percent. Earnings, nice. Tobacco use, it's down 6%. Maybe if we can get that going up a bit, we might have a little fun there. Yeah, so wages are going up. Internet currency, whatever, that's up a little bit. And let's go into our compass. Oh yeah. Okay, so now we're getting kind of around what I was thinking. So now we definitely are hugging that liberal conservative line and going more towards capitalist. Maybe it does continue to go down. I don't know, but I was kind of figuring it was gonna, do one of these things over here where it starts sliding to the positive and ends out in like the 75th percentile or whatever on this particular graph for capitalist. But yeah, this might be fun to start checking and see where we end up at the end of this first full presidential term. Okay. We can look at financial data. That's not something we really haven't been doing. We're just spend. Let's see, where's our income? Basically, yeah, that luxury good tax that we did, whenever the heck that was it year one? I can't remember now. That was actually a good thing because that's 11% of our income. And then the other thing we did was the automation tax, and that's like 7% of our income. So these two particular things were very good, along with sales tax. The corporate tax is 4%, and we reduced that. So yeah, this is what I was talking about before with the these two things, especially the plastic bag tax. I mean, it scored points with environmentalists and liberals, but not so much. I mean, 0.1%, nothing really going on there. A big win here is tobacco tax. So if I remember right, it was possible to get around 100-ish. So this can go from being 0.9% to maybe somewhere around 7% of income. Gonna leave property tax alone. Yeah, and the other thing is income tax. Like, I am considering lowering income tax to 20% tax, which should be popular with people, and give people back more money. They can spend it locally and whatever, and we can see what happens there. Let's look at our charts real quick. So our yeah, you can see like at this point, a few videos back, if you remember, I was like, wow, these things are just going off the rails, like completely opposite directions, which they did for a minute and then started to go back up, and income is starting to creep up a little bit. The expenditures, though, have continued to climb. It would be nice if that came back a little bit. Or not. Screw it. Let's just write checks. It'll be the next president's problem, right? Let's see. As far as the red stuff goes, again, looking at the asthma epidemic. Okay, so this has actually continued to come down. We're now crossing beyond, crossing through the start trigger, and the stop trigger is down here a little bit. So maybe in another year and a half, this actually might just go away on its own without us, directly trying to stop it. Oh yeah, let's look at extreme national. Wow, extreme nationalism, just went vroom, all the way to the top, right? So yeah, this is not coming down. I'm just gonna forecast it right here. Extreme nationalism is here to stay, probably throughout this entire playthrough, and maybe it's not a bad thing. I mean, guess it depends who you are. But our persona doesn't care too much. But yeah, you can see it just rocketed up here. And now for this to stop, we're going to have to get it back down here quite a bit. And I don't really see that happening. I mean, we're not going to spend money on education. So, this is not going to change. Okay, a couple little things before I make a move here. So that was the extreme nationalism. Yeah, we have some internet crime. Not too worried about that yet. The skill shortage is probably going to keep being that way because, again, education is not going to get the funding that it needs. And technology, I believe there's some grants and whatnot that we could do to help tech, but it's unlikely that this president is going to actually do that because it might make sense. So it's just gonna. Oh, by the way, yeah, and then immigration being down, and yeah, things. So okay, let's think about this. Back in the last video, I was really thinking about the CCTVs, or cameras, TV cameras, the CCTV cameras, and it's 28 political capital, which is almost all my political capital. It's not too expensive. I don't know. I guess that's where we're at now. I see 20 billion. I don't even blink an eye. So maybe this is how Washington works. Like at one point they were like, wow, that was a lot of money, and now they're just like, it's only a few $1 trillion every month. Like, who cares? So let's see. There's basically, I think for this particular playthrough, there's kind of 4 things I'm debating. CCTVs, I want to get. And CCTV cameras, I want to get in because this is going to help our overall security. And, I'm a little concerned about security. However, the other thing that may help on the security side is prisoner tagging, which I thought was here. Oh, you know what? Maybe it might already be on the map. So I'll go over there in a second. So prisoner tagging, and I was thinking about the income tax, and actually that's on the map as well. Reducing the income tax to the 20% that I had mentioned earlier. And then the last thing, I was like, you know what? We really need to think about citizenship tests. So if we go, is it in border controls or, whoops, yep. Okay. So citizenship tests are a way of ensuring that people migrate to our country, or people that do migrate to our country have an understanding of our culture and history and whatnot. So it lessens the chances of clashes of cultures for newcomers to the country, encourages integration, and reassures patriotic members of society that they don't need to fear immigration. So this has 100% popularity with voters, which is going to be good for us. Takes 2 quarters to put into play. 7 political capital. Right now the cost is 0. It's just kind of sitting there. But we have low. And if we go to maximum, which again, there's actually no financial cost here. It's going to be a rep cost. If we do go to maximum, patriots are going to love us. This is why I said that the nationalism is not going away. The racial tension is going to take a hit. I believe patriot membership is going to go up. Immigration is going to go down further, and we should check that. I believe it was something like down 49%, something like this. And liberals are going to be upset. They're just having a really, really bad time with this presidency. And ethnic minorities are going to be upset as well. Interestingly enough, I feel like these are not proportional. Like liberals and ethnic minorities should be actually more upset than is being represented here. But patriots are sure having a good time. They're going to start shooting guns in the air or something like that. So I want to do this, actually. I'm going to spend the 7 political capital and go ahead and apply changes. Confirm. Thank you. The downside of doing that right now is I can't do the CCTV cameras because now I don't have the political capital. I could roll it over. So this is something I'm thinking about. But I wanted to look at prisons. There it is, prisoner tagging. So, okay, once again, we're going to piss the liberals off. All right. So, prisoner tagging is a high-tech alternative to incarceration that allows people to reintegrate with the community upon release from prison while allowing law enforcement authorities to keep a close eye on them. Now, so the liberals have concerns such a system is a step towards a police state. Again, police state, everything's a police state with liberals and law and order in this particular game, or maybe not, which monitors are every move. So this is kind of like a play on what we did earlier. So earlier, we actually made liberals happy and conservatives really, really upset because we took the prisons and we're like, you know what? We don't want to just stuff our prisoners in a meat locker so they become worse human beings. There's actually people that can be rehabilitated and saved and whatever. So we spent the money. We made our prisons much better. In fact, I'm not sure if that actually took place yet because I think it was something like a year and a half to implement. But anyway, we're making them a place where people can be rehabilitated and come out into society and then not go back to prison. So this kind of plays with that because now we're like, hey, yeah, we just rehabilitated you and all that, but just, for funsies, for giggles, we're just gonna, tag you. Don't worry about it. And that way we can keep track of you because if you mess up again, we're coming with our cops with submachine guns, which we have lots of those. And also, by the way, pay no attention to the police drones flying overhead. I don't know why anybody would think this is a police state. This seems perfectly normal to me. Okay, so I'm going to do it. It's going to cost only 741 million. Hey, at least we're not talking about billions now. The plus side is, of course, crime is going down further. Violent crime is going down further. The negative here is liberals being upset. I don't know if I get a boost with conservatives or patriots or any of these people. However, it should be, but I'm not sure. So we'll just take what the game gives us here. We'll apply these changes for prisoner tagging. Nice. So we're down to 16 political capital right now. And I am actually going to let that sit. So this is going to be the end of quarter 1. And then we'll wrap up this playthrough with quarter 2 in a sec. Because I'm going to need these 16 political capital along with what I'm getting next turn. So I can either do the, depending on what happens, when we hit next. So I can either do the CCTV cameras or, I don't know, maybe something else. Yeah, I'd really like to do drone strikes, but that's very hefty cost. And yeah, look at those police drones. In fact, let's just look. Oh, yeah, look at them. Maximum. I love police drones. Everybody loves police drones. Eye in the sky. The eye of the tiger, the thrill of the fight. All right, so yeah, I'm definitely gonna need these. So let's just cut the chit chat and go ahead and hit next. Next. All right, buying votes. Actually, yeah, I would like to buy some votes. I'm gonna run for president, I think, in a couple years, and then I'm gonna buy some votes, and then maybe I'll get like 100 votes and be like, hey, I did it, ran for president. And then I'm going to use Democracy 3 to make all my decisions, which would actually still be an improvement. Shocker. Okay. Ooh, man. All right. Well, let's just get into it. Oh, there's some good news too. All right. So our GDP, the GDP is down. Yeah, that's what we want to see. In fact, let's just remove the entire thing. Let's just collapse. So unemployment's down. Health is remained. Look at this crime, though. I know. So I'm focusing on crime, totally ignoring everything else. So we're going to be basically all poor, but somehow crime's going to be low. I don't know how that's going to work. So we got a new situation, brain drain. I knew this was coming because of the education problem. That, and of course, this is what happens when you tell people not to come to your country. It's like your country has a limited resource in brains. We need people from everywhere. So anyhow, rubbish tip protests. I don't even know what they're upset about. The global economy is doing okay, but we're kind of just meh. We're a meh economy. by the way, our credit rating is now C. So now we have two fewer C's, I should say. But the big news is right here. We are now at 67% popularity if the vote was held today. That's a huge jump. I mean, we were just at 51%. So this is looking really good. If we can kind of keep this up, this is looking really good for being reelected. So, and then let's go down here. The Greatikins are up to almost 13 million people. So we were at just touching 9 last time. So we're about 4 million higher. This is awesome. So yeah, okay. So we have another problem, a security threat with the Warriors. So we're going to look into them because they're extremist environmentalists. And I don't know. I don't even know what they're upset about. I'm not wearing fur, so... of course, they're probably upset because, let's see. I mean, CO2 was coming down. Maybe it's the cars. We did do the plastic bag tax. I'm not really sure what else they want. We'll have to look into that. So my cabinet's loyal, and their effectiveness is fair. So they were adequate. So we'll take a look at that in 1 second. So let's go ahead and continue. All right. Let's go right to the cabinet. Okay. So I'm at 22 capital. It's going to, okay. Yeah. All right. Now you're upsetting me. So Earl James, you're killing me, man. I know you're a liberal, but you're also a motorist, trying to do right by them. So now we've got 1.9 capital coming from him. Andrew Gonzalez is just pointlessly upset. He's down to 2. And Bobby Gray over here with Foreign Affairs he's a religious capitalist. What are you upset for, dude? I mean, seriously, capitalists are having a field day right now, and religious are just kind of towing the line, right? There's been nothing bad. We're not super invested in science or education or anything, so this guy should be giving us max political capital. Whatever. He's annoying me. Okay, so let's get out of here. All right, so I've got 38. All right, 38 political capital. But before we make any moves, let's look at our threat assessment. And not too bad. I mean, you know, these threats, anything can happen at any time, but I would almost say they're minimal, even though they do have a number here. I'm not too worried about it. By the way, just look at, all these groups here are just declining. In fact, even the Patriot Party's declining. Of course, the Patriot Army's declining. So not too much. I'm not too worried here. I may pause on the CCTV cameras and look into maybe something. I don't know. I was looking at that income tax reduction down to 20%, but now that the popularity has went up, I may look into wiretapping. Might go into wiretapping. Let's think about that for a second. Look around, see what else we've got. So we've got some opinion polls. All right, so Patriots are there, conservatives are there. Anything really jumping out is this is odd. Well, no, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe we did have a little bump for something for socialists. Let's see. There we go. Yeah, environmentalists went down. Let's click on them, actually. What's going on here? Oh, okay. So, yeah, so we have this going on. Pollution's being a thing. Cause of pollution, the environment. So detailed. You break that down and, yeah. Okay, so let's go back over here for a sec. Nothing really jumps out. Look at focus groups again. We're doing pretty good. I'm not going to spend too much time here. What's she doing? Don't want to leave her holding the bag. She's almost 100. Really 99.97%. you just had to hold that 0.03%. Come on. You know you're going to vote for me. You got 73% voting probability. Just come on over to the win camp here. Okay, so policies, again, pretty much the same-ish. Yeah, I don't think any of this stuff has really changed. It's good changes. Yep, crime being down, quality going up, health going up, environment going up, car usage actually going down. And I actually kind of thought it was going to go up. So our immigration is still holding here at 49% down. I kind of think this is going to maybe take a little more of a hit. Racial tension going down further. Tobacco use going down further. GDP just taking a dive. Something ridiculous. Oh, look at this. Private schools up 44%. That's, of course, because of the tax credits and the vouchers and everything else going on. Middle earnings up. Tourism's down a little bit. Yeah, not too bad. And let's see. Oh, this is interesting. Environmental automation. Industrial automation is up 2%. So if I remember, it was somewhere around 5% down or whatever before. So this is kind of starting to trend upward. And our compass, yep, pretty much, wow, almost kind of middle line here and moving over further. Since it's kind of like this is where we're at, we for a minute, we may dip down a little bit because depends what we end up doing. But so we're still going over to capitalists. So, all right. Let's just pop over and, I mean, this stuff is kind of what we know. It's going to stay this way. School tax credit, school vouchers. This is what I was just mentioning, which is causing the private schools to go up. Private school membership. Income tax, government borrowing. Oh, nice. Yep. Where's this at? Yep. All pretty much the same. The welfare fraud department's getting us a nice $538.9 million a quarter. Couldn't do it without you. And then the charts. Oh, so yeah. So income's coming up. We really got to figure this out. Like right now, so I've been kind of concerned with the popularity. I've been working on that. Obviously, we have to protect our borders. We have to make America great. We have to put America first and all these other slogans. And so that's kind of what we've been doing. But while we've been doing all this, we're not paying attention to the fact that we are spending more than we're making and continuing to go down a bad path. And also GDP is just next quarter it's just gonna be like off the screen to the bottom. All right. So let's see. Oh, we can do it. It wasn't as much as I thought. Drone strike. Yeah. So the Drone Strike Act. So global terrorism threatens our country. Drone strikes on foreign grounds are a safe way to prevent terror organizations from reaching their full potential. Patriots are calling for surgical strikes on terror leaders, while liberals regard those as unethical. Takes 3 quarters to do. 34 political capital. It's going to cost, I would max it out, so it's going to cost $45 billion. Not going to do it right now, but this is something that's definitely a second term item on our agenda. It's going to be our campaign promise. We are going to promise drone strikes. It'd be pretty awesome. I don't think it's in here, but if we had the ability to also enact a drone strike on our own soil, that might make for an interesting game. So let's see here. Let's go back. Actually, let's go back to the what I call the map. I don't actually know what it's called. Man, it's really concerned about this GDP. Oh yeah, so let's look at the I didn't do this. Let's look at the brain drain. Oh wow, good lord. Yeah, so this is basically what happens with all the stuff we've just talked about. Like, it's just sitting here, it's kind of going on, and then just boom, gone. I don't know if it's coming back. The Luddite riots, by the way, have kind of subsided. Oh man, okay, so maybe for the next democracy, if there's going to be one of the things I'd hope for is when I click one of these things and go into the next screen, I actually get like maybe a back button here, so I don't have to keep, finding it again and clicking and whatever. That would be pretty sweet. But okay, so like, yeah, all right. So this probably. What is affecting productivity? Yeah, and then what's affecting health? Right. What if I can encourage tobacco usage? I gotta look into that. So we have some drug addiction, some obesity going on. Let's look at this drug addiction for a second. So the poverty. How does this not make me any well, we gotta legalize all drugs. Yeah, we should do this. We should legalize all drugs and then make the penalty for doing anything while under the influence of a drug like the death penalty. That would be a fun dynamic to watch play out. Well, 27 political capital raise. So what happens at max here? Let's take a look at this. Yeah, obviously we're going to gain with liberals. Crime is going to go up. Wait, what? Hold on a second. What did I just hit here? So, yeah, I wanted to see. Interesting. So legalizing cannabis equates to more crime. Figured it would just equate to Dorito sales going up, which is great for capitalism. So, I mean, I get like LSD or something, I guess. I don't know. I don't do drugs. I have no freaking clue, but from what I hear. Yeah, okay, I get legalizing all drugs is crime. This one here is puzzling a little bit. Oh, you know what? I think if we do this, we then have the option of taxing it through a policy. So, but I'm not gonna mess with this. It's also too expensive. Okay, so let's make a decision here. I don't think we need any more with patriotism. Let's look at wiretapping. I am concerned a little bit about the threats. I don't want them to get too ridiculous. I don't mind them being small, but let's keep them small. Ooh, secret courts. Interesting. Oh my god. Let's ban divorce. That should end well. Okay, back up to wiretapping. Okay, so from a law and order perspective, wiretapping is an essential weapon in the fight against organized crime and terrorism. The problem is that it's difficult to prevent misuse of such a system, and liberals, once again, are keen to point out how widespread wiretapping is a very sinister sign of a police state. Again, with the police, everything is a police state with these liberals in this game. Oh my goodness. I got to do a playthrough where I just go completely police state. Maybe we'll call it like Making America China or something like this. All right, so let's see. It's 26. You know what? I'm gonna wiretap, and I'm gonna max it out. It's 922 million. It's gonna take 3/4 to do. That's 3/4 of threats being built up. I'm sure this is gonna happen. So let's go ahead and do some wiretapping. Yeah, I think this gotta just double check. That's the other thing, and I may have mentioned this. I just really wish there was an undo here. So if I click implement and I'm like, no, it'd be awesome if I could undo this, but I can't. So, by the way, again, if you haven't played this before, your cabinet is affecting this particular thing here. So she has, like, Helen Jones, for example, has 56% effectiveness. So cost is -1%, effects -2%, and implement time is +2%. So they affect it a little bit. So anyway, wiretapping right now is on police request. If we go with this way, we could do judicial order only, or we could do, government decree. If we really want to be like, we're going to wiretap, but really just in the most extreme cases, and we really want a lot of paperwork and oversight and something or other. Or we can be like, you know what, we kind of want to do it maybe on police request. How about we just kind of start doing it? And don't worry, we'll do paperwork later or whatever. Or it can be like, you know what, we're just monitoring now. Like, we are always listening. So we could definitely do it that way. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going with universal monitoring. As you can see on the screen, we are going to take an absolute ridiculous hit from the liberals. In fact, it's 34.28%. They're just going to be extremely upset. Now on crime, though, crime is going to go down further. At some point, I don't know if we need to be worrying about crime. I mean, there's very little of it right now. But yeah, let's actually let me play with this for 1 sec. So even just doing like police chief consent, right? Which it seems like moderately not cool. We're still hitting like 20% hit on liberals. In fact, there's no way to get anything but lower than basically about 10%. So, by the way, this is where the undo would be cool. Is if I'm like, oh, I actually can't afford that. So, oh, you know what? Maybe it is revert changes. So maybe I'm just talking and not paying attention to this right here. I'm not going to do it, but I'll check it out later. So that's just me not knowing all the things in this game, evidently. So kudos, very nice, very nice. Nonetheless, we're gonna do it anyway, and we're just gonna max it out. And oh my god, this is going to hurt so bad. By the way, 13% of voters, I guess, kind of like this idea. I actually thought it'd be a little higher, maybe around 25, somewhere in there. But yeah, I guess we could just do it and say like, hey, if you're not a bad person and you have nothing to hide, what do you care about? Or whatever they normally say as they're taking our privacy away. Okay, so let's hit apply changes. Boom. All right, well, that felt great. Okay, so I have 12 political capital left. And I think I'm going to take a look around. I think most of the things I want to do actually cost more. This is kind of where this losing a few each turn kind of starts adding up. Boy. Yeah, it's kind of sucky. We could always mess with the abortion law and just cause the liberal group to just go completely bonkers. Yeah. See what's going on here. Yeah, this is gonna be something at some point soon, I figure. I'm gonna look at my policies for 1 second. Yeah, so I think this might actually be a good point. I've got 12, and while there are a few things that we could definitely do here, I'm still thinking about those CCTV cameras, which is 28. So I'm going to need all of my next turn's capital and then almost all of this capital to make that happen. Or I'm also thinking about kind of doing the national anthem for the news. There's also making national anthem in schools. We could do like putting flags on every street as a policy. So there's definitely a lot of different things we can do. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm gonna hold off, let it go, and then as a tease for the next video, I am going to hit the next button and see what happens. Next. All right. Oh yeah, we definitely need to fudge these unemployment figures. We have 0 unemployment. So let's click and see what happens. Oh, achievement unlocked. Okay, filibustering. I have the stamina for politics. You've been working away in your office for so long. that it's almost time to start the next day's work. Nice. Okay. Woohoo, listen to that clapping. All right, click out of here. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. We're all right here. So for next time, we have GDP and went down again. Good Lord. Crime went down, but we have internet crime is now at an end. And we have a child labor law. Oh, this is going to be fun. Policy question we'll do next time. Same here. We're growing in numbers. We now have over 14 million and 68% approval, basically. So that's pretty good. Let's see what we got down here. Loyal and fair for the cabinet and the warriors are still a problem. We'll have to look to see how big of a problem that is next time. So, all right, well, hope you've enjoyed this. Next time, we're going to play the second half of Year 3. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe, tell somebody about it, and I will see you next time.